Hello and welcome to the stream. We'll be continuing where we left off from our last stream. Please do let me know in the chat if the volume is too loud or too low and I can adjust it accordingly. Alright, well let's get going. I awake to darkness. I guess I'm not much for dreaming, unless something big happens. I always have the same dream anyway. I always envision a sword. I have no idea why, but that's the only thing that pops into my head. There's no rhyme or reason to it. Perhaps this is what defines me as well. Me as Shiro Emiya. I don't have any dreams of my own. The only thing on my mind while I sleep are what others taught me along the way. For example, on how to be a mage. Even if I'm not a full-fledged mage, it's only natural for a mage to be aware of the world they're in. Simply put, a mage is an irregular, an outcast from society. But even outcasts need to band together to survive. My old man told me that there is a society of mages called a Mages Association. He also told me I shouldn't ever get involved with them. The Mages Association is said to conceal the existence of magecraft and manage mages. The Mages Association watches over mages and makes sure their magecraft doesn't affect society. But the strange thing is, they don't really prohibit mages from abusing magecraft either. According to Kiritsugu, the Mages Association is only interested in concealing mystics. Even if I say a mage carried out an experiment that sacrificed, let's say, a lot of citizens, the association wouldn't punish them. Their priorities are expressly in preventing the public from becoming aware of magecraft. This does not mean magecraft is completely banned. Honestly, anything goes as long as the truth doesn't come out. At least that seems to be how that insane bunch conduct themselves. Whatever it is, the Mages Association's surveillance is absolute. Typical magecraft research sacrifices the lives of ordinary humans, which in turn risks revealing the existence of magecraft to the world. As such, the Mages Association doesn't permit research that would harm society. Ultimately, mages conduct their research in the privacy of their homes while the world is none the wiser. Mages sometimes go into hiding to escape the association's security and oversight. So there may be some mages living in this town and I just don't know it. I also hear Fuyuki is a spiritual hotspot of sorts. Probably means there's some prestigious mage with a storied history living here. They're called second owners, elite mages the association entrusts to watch over territory. Other mages who live in the same area must visit these second owners first to get permission to build their workshops. My old man was an outlaw who cut ties with the association and moved here without the consent of Fuyuki's second owner. So in a way, our family is a bunch of trespassers living in a house without permission from the landlord. which means the second owner doesn't know that Kiritsugu Emiya was a mage. So I tend to feel like our family status as a mage is kind of unclear. But then my old man, the bona fide mage, died. Even though I'm his disciple and son, I don't know a thing about the Mages Association and have no real knowledge about being a mage. I've had a feeling the association would want to dispose of someone like me, but they haven't made any sort of move. Apparently, the Mages Association doesn't have many eyes in Japan, so that's probably why I haven't been found yet. But that doesn't mean I can let my guard down. The eyes of the Mages Association are said to be everywhere, and if someone commits a crime using magecraft, the church's heretic hunters will make their move. Using magecraft, however, half-assed you may be about it, makes you enemies. So with all that in mind, I honestly just want to study being a mage on my own. I wake up as the sunlight starts to pour in through the window. Looks like the sun's just starting to come up. It's still dark out. It's cold waking up in the morning. It's cold. Waking up in the morning is getting tough. I get up, trying not to let the morning cold discourage me, and quickly fold up my futon. It's 5:30. I've always been an early riser, no matter how late I go to bed. I might mess up once in a while, like yesterday, but that's rare. Okay, breakfast. I let Sakura do all the work yesterday, so I would look like kind of bad if I didn't return the favor this morning. I should hurry up and finish making breakfast before Sakura comes. I cook rice and make miso soup. Yesterday the soup had daikon, radish, and carrots, so I'm making onion and potato miso today. I make the egg omelet and use the leftover konnyaku to simmer it with bento flakes. Oh, that sounds super tasty. I make incisions into the savory fish, which may be the main dish, and sprinkle it with a little salt. All I have to do is broil it, but that can wait until the last minute. Okay, that'll do it. It's almost 6. I finished earlier than expected, so I have some time on my hands. So, what should I do with the extra time? Guess I'll work up quick sweat if I have so much time. Morning exercise is my daily routine, so I might as well do some light workouts. The hushed atmosphere of an empty dojo encourages one to focus. And in the morning, just as the sun rises, its sincerity makes the mood even more sacred, enthralling whoever visits the site. Anyway, there's only one thing I do here. Ever since my old man died, the dojo has turned into a gym to train my body. Training to be a mage means I can't neglect training my body. One of the conditions of being a mage is maintaining yourself at your physical peak. When Kiritsugu was still alive, he and I sparred often. Well, more that he just kicked my ass every time, so I never really learned how to win myself. But at least I learned the difference between a fight and a battle. In other words, I learned the difference between killing and beating an opponent and how to conduct myself in each situation. Knowledge and experience are different. Without the knowledge to know the difference, it's hard to tell if you've gotten yourself into a fight or a massacre. It's as simple as that. Learning magecraft means is a risk of perishing on your own, as well as the risk of having to fight. And to mages, that means killing each other. That's why Kiritsugu wanted to teach me that I must always be ready to face death. But the person reminding me of that lesson is long gone. So the only thing I can do alone is some simple exercises. I guess that's better. I guess I better get on with it. After I stretch to warm up, I focus my inner strength and begin my exercises. As I train my body, I assess how magic circuits affect my blood flow. My skeletal frame is creaking, the fatigue I feel, and how much that all distracts my thoughts. 120, 150, 170. Even simple push-ups can train my magic circuits as long as I focus my mental state rather than putting physical weights on my body. With no proper mentor teaching me magecraft, morning training is no different than what most sports clubs do, and they have become very important to me. Yes, it's all done. All that's left to do is set the dishes and grill the fish. Sakura is clearly eager in her reply. And coming in behind the ever-dependable Sakura, Fujine casually heads to the table. Well, let's just ignore her for now. I need to grill the prepared fish. Sakura uses the middle set of plates. The food will look better on those. Yeah, those grilled meals tend to look good if you tend not to look good if you don't plate them well, and I've already grated the daikon. Sakura reaches far to take out the plates. As she reaches out, I think I see a faint bruise on the back of her hand. Sakura, hold on a minute. What was that bruise on your hand? She averts her eye, looking uneasy. Her reaction makes how she got the bruise clear. It's Shinji again. I can't believe he beats his own sister. How stupid do you think I am? Nobody gets bruises like that from just falling. Seems like Shinji needs some sense smacked into him. Sakura falls silent. Sakura may seem docile, but she's surprisingly stubborn. It's no use saying anything to her now. Fine, if you say so, I'll leave it at that. Why are you apologizing? Shinji's the one in the wrong. The moment I say Shinji's name, Sakura awkwardly looks away. It can only mean he is the cause of the bruise on her hand. Shinji Mato has a bad habit of treating his younger sister like crap. I noticed it about a year ago. Every now and then I'd see Sakura injured, and she'd always make excuses when I asked what happened. When I asked Shinji about it, he revealed, to my shock, that he'd been the one who hit Sakura. I asked why, and he told me it was because she'd done something he hadn't liked. I got pretty pissed off, so I did to Shinji what he'd done to Sakura. We haven't been on great terms since then.
先輩、兄さんとは仲直りしてくれましたか?
Abso-freaking-lutely not! Huh? Yeah, sure. When we never fought in the first place, so there's not much call for making up.
先輩にとってはそうでしょうけど、兄さんにとっては喧嘩をしたことになるんです。だから気をつけてください。
What Sakura says strikes me as odd. Be careful of Shinji.
はい。兄さん、先輩を目の敵にしてるって聞きました。先輩が退部するようになったのも兄さんのせいだって。
Shinji had nothing to do with me quitting. Well, he might have been a factor, but it's nothing that you should worry about. And Shinji's right. This is a little unsightly. I point at my left shoulder. There's a little scar there. It happened about a year and a half ago. Something fell on me during one of my jobs, injuring my left shoulder. I ended up with just a broken bone, but I also came away with a burn to my shoulder. After the accident, I quit the Kyudo Club. Our school's Kyudo Club, out of respect for my formalities, allows students to perform sacred shooting rituals. Yeah. Male students participating in this expose their left shoulder. Shinji pointed out that it may be disrespectful for someone performing a sacred shoot to expose a scar, and since I was getting busy with my various jobs, I decided to quit the club.
先輩、しつこいようですけど、本当にもう弓は引かないんですか？藤村先生も怪我なんて支障はないって言ってるのに。
Fujine would say that even if I'd broken every bone in my body.
先輩、私、真面目な話をしているんです。
Yes, we could tell you're being serious, Sakura. I know I should have given her a serious answer, but unfortunately I can't give Sakura the answer she's looking for. I don't have time to do club activities like Kyudo, but it's not something I should prioritize. So I think I'll give it a rest for a while.
しばらくってどのくらいですか?
However long I feel like, or maybe until it's time for you to graduate. I'm looking forward to having you look after me then, Sakura. I pat Sakura's shoulder.
はい、私、その時をお待ちしています。
She nods so violently it looks like she might drop the plates. It's almost 7:30. Sakura and Fujine have long since left the house for their morning club activities. I went to school early yesterday because Izai asked me to, but I leave the house at the usual time today. I noticed something strange as I walked down the hill towards the intersection. Several police cars are parked in front of a house. Something must have happened since a crowd has gathered. There are easily 20 people watching. I'm curious, but the mass of people prevents me from finding out what's happening. I don't have much time, so I should hurry to school. I make it to school 10 minutes before the first bell. As I cross through the gate with plenty of time as usual, I run into a familiar student. You haven't even changed yet, Mitsuzuri. Homeroom's about to start. You really don't have time to say hi to me. I don't know what's so funny, but she laughs heartily, not caring about her surroundings. This is Ayeko Mitsuzuri. She's been a classmate of mine since we were first years, and she's currently the captain of the Kyudo Club. She's an unbelievably insightful person, and it was expected that she would be the team's next captain since her first year with them. Mitsuzuri is a precocious sort. People have always had high hopes for her, and even leaned on her ever since she was a first year. Then again, she gets mad whenever someone mentions that in front of her, claiming she doesn't look as old as people think. What are you, psychic too, Mitsuzuri? I wouldn't dare, just making an observation. If you want to get angry about it, that's your call. Shinji? What's he got to do with this? I guess the Kyudo Club's got nothing to do with it, but he and I go back a long way. What, did Shinji do something bad again? Well, that's not entirely surprising, with Shinji around. Mitsuzuri sighs gravely. Seeing her look so serious is rare to begin with, but the rest of her story is particularly alarming. What the heck? Why'd he quit? What? How could you let something like that happen?
エミヤだって知ってるでしょ。
Well, yeah, but what the hell was Shinji thinking? He may be harsher than the others, but he's not the type to make someone into a spectacle.
呆れた。エミヤっては本当にあれだ。
What do you mean by that? Were you just thinking something bad about me?
あら、私はあくまで客観的な事実を連想しただけさ。
Oh, that is
気を悪くするのはエミヤの勝手だ
but
ね。
turnabout, I guess, is fair play. Why you using my own words against me? Fine. So what got into Shinji? Why'd he do that?
聞いた話じゃ、遠坂にこっぴどく振られたとかなんとか。
Oh, it was 'cause Tosaka shot him down. Well, I mean, we can't really be surprised about that. Eh? Tosaka? You mean that Tosaka?
うちの学校にあれ以外の遠坂なんていないでしょ。
No, I can't say that I do.
2年 A 組の優等生。
I don't think we know of any other Tosakas in the school. That's the first time I've heard of that nickname. But it fits. It's not surprising Shinji got rejected. And knowing Tosaka, she probably had some pretty harsh insults to go with the rejection.
ともかく、シンジのやつは昨日からずっとその調子よ。おかげで私もこんな時間まで道場で目を光らせてたってわけ。
Fuyuki does have a low tolerance for some things. I know it might be tough, but good luck, Mitsuzuri.
はいはい。けどね、シンジって懲りないでしょ。また遠坂に声をかけて振られた日には、今度こそ遠坂本人に何かしそうでさ。
No, even Shinji wouldn't go near someone who just rejected him. He's good about that sort of thing.
けど相手が近寄ってくるんだからしょうがないじゃない。遠坂さ、なんか知らないけど、うちの道場よく見学に来るのよ。エミヤは辞めちゃったから知らないだろうけどね。
That's news to me. Rin Tosaka doesn't participate in any club activities because her family forbids it or something. She even turned down nominations to be a member of the student council, so I always thought she went straight home after school.
たまにはそれもいいか。あいつもお高く泊まってるし、一度ぐらいは痛い目に遭うのもいいかもね。お気の毒様っていうか、ご愁傷様っていうか。
Mitsuzuri has a weird way of looking at this. Now that I think about it, they say that Rin Tosaka has a lot of enemies. I wonder if Mitsuzuri is one of them too. Hey, Mitsuzuri, that's kind of cruel, even for you.
あ、そろそろ時間だ。じゃあね、エミヤ。今度私の弓の調子見に来てよ。
Mitsuzuri hastily runs off. Classic Mitsuzuri. I never minded just how forthright she always is. I feel a bit more at ease and head toward the classroom. It's lunchtime. Our school has quite the cafeteria and most of the students eat lunch there. But there are some old-fashioned students who still bring their own lunches, including myself and the student council president sitting in front of me.
エミヤ、その唐揚げを一つくれないか。俺の弁当には圧倒的に肉分が不足している。
Fine, but why is your lunch always so plain, Izai? I know you live in a temple, but there's no rule that prohibits you from consuming alcohol or meat, right?
何を時代錯誤なことを。これは単に親父殿の趣味だ。小坊主に食わす贅沢はない。悔しいのなら己で何とかせよ、などという。いっそ今からでも天祖になるか。俺も考えどころだ。
That sounds like your old man. Izai's father is a priest at Ryudo Temple, a larger-than-life figure who's also friends with Fujine's grandfather. Anyone who gets along with old man Fujimura can't possibly be normal. Well then, here you go. You owe me. I passed my bento box to him.
いやいや、ありがたく。これも托発の修行なり。
Izai bows deeply. I honestly question whether I should be reminded that he's the son of a priest at times like this.
ああ、そういえばエミヤ、朝方2丁目の方で騒ぎがあったのを知っているか。ちょうどエミヤと別れるあたりの交差点だが。
The intersection? Could it be the same intersection where I saw the police cars this morning?
なんでもな、殺人があったそうだ。詳細は知らないが、一家4人中助かったのは子供だけらしい。両親と姉は刺殺されたというが、その凶器が包丁やナイフではなく、長物だというのが普通じゃない。
A long weapon. Does he mean a sword or something? If it's a murder, then that weapon killed the parents and the older sister? I can't help but imagine it. Someone sneaks into the house late at night, unreasonable violence, a horrible nightmare, the victim neither imagined nor wished for, like a traffic accident. The parents are slaughtered, the older sister falls victim without knowing what happened. A lone child, hidden in the shadows, is covered in their family's blood. Izai, didn't they catch the murderer?
捕まってはいないようだな。信徒の方では欠陥工事による事故。こちらでは辻切りめいた殺人事件だ。学校の門限が早まるのも当然。どうしたエミヤ？喉に飯でも詰まったか？いや、エミヤが厳しい顔をしていたのでな。少し驚いた。すまん。食事
Yeah,
時
that's
の話ではなかった
probably not, mealtime conversation. Izai apologizes and tries to lighten the mood. I actually don't mind topics like this and didn't realize I was looking so severe. And then there's a gentle knock on the student council room's door.
失礼。竜道はいるか？
ああ、はい。何ですか、先生。
Mr. Kuzuki enters and Izai steps over to him to have a quiet conversation. It must be a casual student council matter since Izai looks so relaxed. Look at that. It's something I don't see every day. Izai is unsurprisingly shy. He keeps his distance from classmates and even teachers, but for some reason he's warmed up to the student council advisor, Mr. Kuzuki. Maybe they get along because they're both straight-laced. Saochiru Kozuki is the homeroom teacher for class 2A, and he's very serious and kinda weird. Some part of that is probably why he and Izai get along so well. The two continue to talk. As I watch them, I can't stop thinking about the murder. Classes end and it's time to go home. I can't wander around because I have work today. I shouldn't do anything at school. I should head straight to the neighboring town, but maybe this morning's conversation bothered me more than I realized. The next thing I know, I'm at the Kyoto Club. Oh, what the hell am I thinking? Mitsuzuri said Rin Tosaka frequently visits? Well, I hadn't thought of that, but I think it'd be a problem if Shinji got violent against Tosaka. Shinji's unstoppable when he gets mad. Shinji's lashing out at Tosaka because she rejected him would be bad. Well, I don't know exactly how, but it would just be bad. Oh, Tosaka's not even here. Tosaka's nowhere to be found around the dojo. Mitsuzuri worried for nothing.
へえ、誰がいないって？
Ah,
だから誰がいないって？
Izai, who I thought I'd parted ways with, is standing right next to me. Why are you here, Izai? Don't scare me like that.
いや、エミヤが挙動不審げに道場を眺めていたからつい。で、誰がいないって？
Well, it's Tosaka. I heard that she had a spat with Shinji yesterday, so I wanted to make sure things were okay.
ほうほう、挙動不審だな。聞かれてもいないのに理由まで話すなど。俺は誰がいないかと聞いただけなのだが。
Why? It's none of your business what I do around her.
うん、それはしかり。だが無駄だぞエミヤ。遠坂はここにはいない。なぜならあいつは今日ずる休みだ。
What? Cut class? So she's absent? Well, that is generally what cutting class means. Wow, come on, Shiro. I see. Wait, Izai, what do you think she cut? Why do you think she cut class? That's not the sort of thing she'd ever do.
するとも、あいつが風邪などひくものか。俺が見たところあいつは悪いやつだ。外見に騙されるとパクッと食われるぞエミヤ。
Somehow what Izai is saying irritates me. I may not know Tosaka that well, but I don't think she's a bad person. Watch what you say, Izai. You know Tosaka's not like that.
ん？なんだ？エミヤも遠坂狙いなのか。ああ、それはすまない。今のは流してくれ。
Well, we might have a secret crush on Tosaka's thighs, maybe. A secret crush? Like hell. Don't make assumptions. I'm just worried Shinji's going to stir up some trouble.
シンジが遠坂に殴りかかろうとしたら止めるためか。またそんな役回りをするな。別に俺は気にしないが、割と趣味が悪いのだな、エミヤは。
I'm unscathed so far because nothing happened. But Izai, what was that crap you were saying?
ん？遠坂狙いは趣味が悪いってことかい？
Yeah, that. Tosaka's popular. I haven't heard any bad rumors about her.
ああ、聞かないね。それがまた気に食わない。
What part bothers you?
だから全部だよ。あれは女狐だ。女性だ。妖怪だ。とにかく生理的に気に食わない。悪いことは言わないから、エミヤも気に入らないようにしろ。
You're the one who always warns everyone not to talk about people behind their back.
たわけ。これが陰口に入るか。俺は聞こえるように喋っている。
No wonder I sense people watching us. Well, that's a relief. I'm really glad Tosaka's absent today. Izai, please, can we talk a little quieter?
うん。エミヤがそういうのなら了解した。いや、とりわけ中傷していたわけではないぞ。単に竜道一世が遠坂凛を警戒していると言っただけだ。あくまで個人の趣味嗜好の範囲だろう。
Yet you use words like vixen and minx. I'm pretty sure minx is definitely a derogatory term.
何？褒め言葉だ。女狐にも妖怪にもいいものはいる。あくまで遠坂を表現する値として採用しただけである。
I'm not sure you can use minx to describe somebody in a good way.
かつ。
Izai laughs.
それではな。俺は生徒会室に戻るが、エミヤはバイトだろう。こんなところで道草を食っている暇はなかろう。
Izai leaves, calm and composed, perhaps because he felt satisfied having said everything he wanted to say. I've known him for 2 years, but honestly, I still don't get that guy. I ride the bus from school for 20 minutes. I arrive at Shinto, the neighboring town across the bridge. Oh, it's not even 5 yet. I still have some time. There aren't any part-time jobs in the residential area of Miyama, but there are plenty in Shinto since it's a developing area. Our school allows students to hold part-time jobs, so I take on simple jobs. I prefer my jobs to be physical, and the tougher and shorter they are, the better. I get paid all while training my body, so it's like killing 2 birds with 1 stone. Today I'll work from 5 to 8 o'clock for a simple loading job. It may just be 3 hours of work, but it feels more like 6, since they make you work without a minute's rest. Which means I need to rest when I have the opportunity, even if it's just for 10 minutes. Walking around aimlessly would be a waste of energy, so I decide to rest at a park until it's time. The park is nestled between buildings. It's like a giant plaza full of trees and shrubbery. A park should typically be filled with families and couples during weekends and holidays, but this one is deserted this hour. In fairness, this place is always desolate, no matter the day or time. This place is always the same. This place is the same as always. I sigh in exacerbation. The area is unkept, and it's really pretty ugly compared to other places that are poorly landscaped and maintained. As if the desolate location had set the mood, the wind itself blows cold and harsh. This place is the remnant of a great catastrophe that happened 10 years ago. It is the very place where I was saved from the brink of death. Why don't they seed some grass here or something? It's a shame to keep it like this. This area is quite large, so if they leveled it, there'd be plenty of space to work on the park. I sit down on a bench as I think. With nothing else to do, I stare over the burned area to pass the time. I don't remember anything that happened here. The only thing I remember is that it was hot and I couldn't breathe. And then some people died trying to save others. I wonder why that happened. One adult here died because they were trying to save a child from a burning house. Another person was offered all their available water to extinguish the raw parched throat, while others in the same situation died. Someone here tried to flee the fire as fast as they could, but the people left behind died. And someone died here because they gave whatever it was that kept them alive to someone they didn't even know. I don't like thinking about that. Just thinking about people trying to help and becoming victims of their trouble makes me angry. It's too much to ask for everyone to be sad and for them to get their happy ending afterward. Saved. All I want is to see people peacefully prevail. Why can't that happen?
それは難しい。シロの言っていることは誰も彼も救うということだからね。
That was Kiritsugu's response to the question when a very young me asked it. As a child, I obviously refused to accept that idea. But you saved me, Kiritsugu. I knew you were a magician and you could do anything. I knew you were a champion of justice who wouldn't let anyone suffer, and you did it without asking for any reward. That's why I've always believed you managed to save everyone back then. In response to me shouting this at him, Kiritsugu looked more troubled than I'd ever seen him and said something I remember to this day.
シロ、誰かを救うということは誰かを助けないということなんだ。いいかい？正義の味方に助けられるのはね、正義の味方が助けた者だけなんだよ。当たり前のことだけど、これが正義の味方の定義なんだ。
Yeah, I get that. And now that it's been pointed out, it seems so obvious. Imagine if there was a burglar and some hostages, and the burglar intends to kill the hostages. Under normal circumstances, a majority of the hostages would probably die. But if by some miracle all the hostages were saved, then there's someone who didn't get saved. The burglar, of course, since saving the hostages was done at the cost of his life. The people the champion of justice saves are only those whom the champion of justice deems to save. That's why saving everyone is impossible. Even God can't do that. Especially if it's a natural disaster. No person is able to save everyone and everything. The fire 10 years ago was like that. As someone who was miraculously saved from the incident, it wasn't my place to say anything at this point. But I still don't like it. I don't want anything like that. I don't like the idea that there's a limitation to who can be saved. No matter how impossible it may be, I need to reach out to help. I can't stand to see people around me die, like back then. If the person I am now had been there 10 years ago, I wouldn't have thrown myself into the fire. But then I would have died, and for nothing. That wouldn't have happened for sure. Geez, I can't even fantasize in my head. Oh crap, I can't believe it's already 5. The bell in the distance rings, chiming 5 o'clock. I get up from the bench and hurry to my part-time job. By the time I'm done working, the sun has long since set. It's a little before 8 o'clock. I finish about 10 minutes earlier because I kind of overworked myself. Maybe it's because I stopped by the park before work that might have motivated me to push myself harder. At the train station, the night is just getting started. There are a bunch of people milling about and an endless stream of cars on the road. Guess there's no need for me to get something for Fujine. I walk along the path as I gaze at a lighted building. It's the biggest building in Shinto, so I can't see all the way to the top. As I gaze at the building, I enjoy the nighttime scenery. Huh? I think I see something bizarre. What is that? I stop and try to look to the very top. I squint, trying to bring what I see into focus, but it's like staring at grains of rice. It looks like someone I know, but I can't think why this girl I know would have a reason to be there. It doesn't seem like she's going to do anything up there. But she's just standing there looking down at the city, and the wind ruffles her hair. She doesn't seem to notice me down below. Actually, there's no way she could see me. Even my near-perfect vision, enhanced with Magecraft, can barely distinguish what's up there. I'm able to tell she's up there because she's isolated, but there's no way she would be able to pick me out of a crowd on the ground. She's just looking down at the town. It seems like she's looking for something. I can almost feel her sharp gaze, even at this distance. I forget how long it's been, but I continue to look up at the girl standing in the void. She stands at the top of a high tower. She's like a magician looking down at the surface of the world, with the bright moon shining bright behind her. Oh, and then she disappears, apparently done with whatever brought her up there. The rooftop stands empty, and the scenery turns back to nothing more than a beautiful night sky. Was that Tosaka up there? I can't be sure, but I'm probably right about who it was, at least. There can't be many girls I know who stand out like her, and besides, I'm not so out of it that I'd fail to notice a girl I secretly admire. It's just, Tosaka sure has a weird way of spending her time. Unlike Shinto, there's no sign of people anywhere in Miyama. There is nobody around after 8 at night, and the town is silent and still. The house I saw this morning stands across the intersection. There are no signs of life, and no trespassing signs hang over the front door. In just a single day, the house has fallen quiet, almost like an abandoned building. A girl and her parents were killed by a burglar. I wonder what life awaits now for a single child who survived. I bite my lip, frustrated by my own powerlessness. I promised I'd be just like Kiritsugu, but I couldn't do anything even when something like this happened so close to home. I want to help people, but I don't even know what I can do. I reach the top of the hill where my house sits. The lights are on, so Fujine and Sakura are still inside. I'm home. Oh, it's just you, Fujine. Fujine turns toward me, munching on a rice cracker. The TV is tuned to a lively variety show.
もうまたこんな時間に帰ってきて。冬は日が暮れるのが早いんだから、もっと早くに帰ってきなさいって言ったでしょ。
I am home early. I had to work until 8, so get off my back about that. So where's Sakura? I see dinner's already prepared.
さくらちゃんなら早めに帰ったわよ。今日は用事があるからって晩ご飯だけ作ってくれたの。
Fujine cheerfully replies. As far as she's concerned, anyone who makes her food is a good person. I see, it's probably a good thing for now. It's been dangerous lately, so maybe I'll take over making dinner until the new school term starts.
反対。シロ帰ってくるの遅いじゃない。それからご飯作ってたら食べるの
Oh, 'cause it's all about you, right,
10時過ぎになっちゃうよ。
Fujine? Jeez. And you're supposed to be the adult here. Couldn't you just eat at home?
だからここが私の家だよ。
Of course it is. Fujine tilts her head, puzzled. Honestly, I'm not sure if a response like that should make me happy or sad. Please. Fine, I know it's pointless asking you to make dinner. By the way, what's that you've got there? You didn't bring over more junk, did you? Fujine has a tendency to leave a bunch of junk here. She'll bring over stuff like bowls from restaurants that are too big to be functional and unnecessarily heavy earthen teapot, or a weird guitar that plays itself. She must think this place is convenient storage or something. Show it to me. I'm going to toss it. If it's trash.
これ？うちで余ったポスターだけど。
Fujine hands me the poster. It's probably a poster of some no-name singer. Let's see. I knew it. It's a poster of a young man wearing a military uniform, smiling with his thumbs up, all in front of a cheap-looking blue sky background. The caption on the poster is in bloody font. Love's lovely Rangerland. Come to the self-defense meetup. Hey, this is a recruitment poster for a youth group.
それいらないからあげるね。
I don't want this either. I quickly roll the poster back up and try to whack Fujine on the head with it.
へへん、外れ。
However, Fujine counters mercilessly with another poster she'd been holding. Conk! Her poster sword bops me not so lightly. Ah! Stars! I see stars!
シロの腕で私に当てようなんて甘いわよ。悔しかったらもうちょっと腕を磨きなさいね。
That's not the issue here. How the hell does a paper poster make a sound like that? Did she manage some sort of technique only a true poster master can execute?
ごめんごめん。こっちのポスター初回特典版なんで豪華鉄板仕様だった。
No, it's just a plate metal poster, which means it's solid metal.
シロ、頭大丈夫？
No, that's not okay. You porked it with a metal poster. Fujine, you're going to end up killing someone one of these days.
その時はシロがお嫁にもらってくれるから安心かな。
Nah, not a chance. I'm not marrying a natural-born killer.
私そんな物騒なのじゃないと思う。
The rest of us think you're that violent? You would be that unaware of your actions. Pray that I survive. I'll have to be very careful from now on if I'm going to have any hope of avoid being murdered.
ふんだ、言ってなさい。そんなことよりシロ、私お腹減った。 今まで待ってたんだから早くご飯の用意しよう。
Fujine gets up. What's up with Fujine? She must really be hungry if she's offering to help, even if it's just setting up the table. Fine, then you take out the plates and bowls. You can at least scoop the rice into bowls, right?
告げるよ。ねえシロ、私丼でいいかな。
That shouldn't be a problem. Sakura's not here today, so we'll definitely have leftovers.
よしよし。それじゃ、シロもお揃いね。
Fujine scoops mounds of rice into 2 large bowls. Whatever, I was going to go for a second helping anyway, and if I meddle in what Fujine does now, we may really not have any dinner. Besides, this is the kind of chaotic scene dinner at my house has no. Blah. This is the kind of chaotic scene dinner at my house has been for years. Wow, that sentence threw me off there for some reason. Another day ends. We'll finish our rowdy dinner, and after I see Fujine, I take a bath. After that, I head to the shed for my daily training. I complete it as usual and then go to sleep. It's 1 o'clock in the morning. Today ends peacefully and without incident. Long day, long night. I'm in a fire. Houses crumble and people burn. No matter where I go, all I see is crimson. This is what I saw 10 years ago. It's a long forgotten memory of the past. I run through the scenery, recreating what happened. I know it's a nightmare, but there's no way to escape. I run and run. I keep running. Every time the scene ends with me as a child running out of energy and getting rescued. I wake up feeling wrong. A hand to my forehead tells me I'm sweating, even though it's winter. Oh, it's late. The clock reads past 6. I hear the soft sounds of chopping from the kitchen. Sakura's early again. Not really the time to be impressed by what an early riser she is. I need to hurry up and get ready so I can help her with breakfast.
シロ、今日どうするのよ。土曜日だから午後はアルバイト？
No, not today. I might help Izai out. Why do you ask?
別に。暇だったら道場の方に遊びに来てくんないかなって。私、今月ピンチなのだ。
A bind? Why?
お財布事情がピンチなの。誰かがお弁当作ってくれると嬉しいんだけどな。
Oh, for crying out loud, Fujine. Jeez. Yeah, not happening. It's your mess. You can afford to miss a meal or two.
で、シロには期待してないもん。私が頼りにしてるのはさくらちゃんだけなんだから。ね、
Hey, no bringing Sakura into this.
はい、私と同じものでよろしければ用意しておきますね。
Haha, Sakura, you're just... Why did you fall for this?
オッケーオッケー。じゃあ今日は一緒にお昼を
Breakfast goes smoothly. Today's menu includes the typical sides, and the main dish is braised lotus root, konnyaku, and chicken. Sakura probably didn't need to make such an elaborate dish for breakfast, but I'm guessing she made extra to pack for lunch. Sakura is a member of the Kyudo Club, and Fujine is the club's faculty advisor. Nobody would think it was weird for the two of them to have the same lunch.
そういえばシロ、今朝は遅かったけど何かあった？
Yes, you beat me over the head with a bloody metal poster. Fujine looks my way as she sips her miso soup. As much as she's just kind of out there most of the time, she's pretty sharp about this kind of thing. Had a dream about the past and woke up feeling crappy. That's it.
なんだ、いつものことか。なら安心かな。
It's not an interesting topic for Fujine, so she shifts the conversation in another direction. That doesn't bother me one bit. 10 years ago. I used to have nightmares a lot back when I couldn't shake the memory of that fire. But as time went on, those memories grew less and less frequent, and I've gotten to the point where the dreams don't bother me anymore. I've been told my nightmares were pretty bad back then, though Fujine was already with us by then, and she's been sensitive about changes in me since.
シロ、食欲はある？今朝に限ってないとかない？
Nope, I'm fine, so quit using my dream as an excuse to try stealing my food.
チェ、シロが強くなってくれて嬉しいけど、もうちょっと繊細でいてくれた方がいいな、お姉ちゃんは。
Right back at you. Since I'm basically your younger brother, I kind of wish you'd ended up a little more delicate and sweet yourself. We both huff and turn our heads away from each other. Seeing that as a sign that I'm fine, Fujine smiles in relief. Honestly, I appreciate her consideration. But I know she'll get an ego about it if I say it directly, so I pretend to grunt in protest instead. Sakura looks puzzled by our interaction. Soon after Fujine leaves, I lock up and Sakura and I leave as well.
先輩、今日の夜から月曜日までお手伝いに来れませんけど、よろしいですか？
That's fine. Besides, it's the weekend. I bet you have friends to hang out with, so don't worry about me.
そんな、違います。そういうんじゃないです。本当に個人的な用事で、ちゃんと部活にだって出るんですから。だから、何かあったら道場に来てくれれば何とかします。別に土日だからって遊びに行くわけじゃないです。だから変な勘違いはしないでもらえると助かります。
What? Sakura's acting suspicious, or rather, she seems nervous. I don't know why, but it's probably just that she can't come over the weekend. Got it. I'll go to the dojo if I need anything.
はい、そうしてもらえれば嬉しいです。
Sakura sighs in relief. But the moment Sakura lowers her gaze, her expression stiffens.
先輩って。
Sakura is staring at my left hand. I look down and see blood trickling from it. Huh? I pull up my shirt sleeve. Yup, blood. The hell? Did I cut myself on something last night? But I don't feel any pain. It looks like there's a welt on my hand. The bruise stretches all the way from my shoulder to the back of my hand. It looks like a snake that's trying to reach my palm from the top of my shoulder. Well, it doesn't hurt. I'm sure it'll go away soon. I don't think it's anything to worry about.
はい。先輩がそう言うのでしたら気にしません。
The sight of blood probably makes Sakura sick, since she's keeping her head down. Sakura heads to the club while I head to the school building. The schoolyard is filled with athletic club members training. This morning is practically brimming with enthusiastic energy. But something feels strange. Everything in the school is as usual. The students exercising for morning practice are lively, and the new school building is spotless. Maybe it's just my imagination. But when I close my eyes, the mood changes drastically. The building walls feel stained, like membranes have latched onto them, and the students themselves seem like empty dolls. Maybe I'm just tired. I shake my head to clear it and head on to campus. School ends early on Saturdays. Yeah, a little bit creepy. Anyway, welcome Lemonade 2000. Classes end in the morning, but by the time I finish helping Izai, the sun has started to set. I guess it's time to go home. I pack my bag and leave the classroom. But then...
なんだ、まだ学校にいたんだ、エミヤ。
I run into Shinji. There are a few girls behind him making a small commotion.
やることもないくせにまだ残ってたの？ああ、そうか。また生徒会にごますってたわけね。いいね、エミヤは。部活なんてやんなくても内心稼げるんだからさ。
I'm not helping the student council. I'm just helping the school by repairing old equipment since we all use it.
よく言うよ。エミヤに言わせれば何だって当たり前だからね。
Well, I don't care if I piss you off, Shinji. You piss me off. Just looking at your face. I don't remember. I probably wasn't listening if you did. You say that kind of stuff all the time.
そうか。それじゃあ学校にあるものなら何でも直してくれるんだ、エミヤは。
Uh-oh, we just stepped in it. There's reasons for that though, Dawson. Reasons we won't get into just at the moment.
よし、なら頼まれてくれよ。うちの弓道場さ、今割と散らかってるんだよね。弦も巻いてないのが溜まってるし、安土の掃除もできてない。暇ならさ、そっちの方もよろしくやってくれないかな。
Yeah, we stepped in it now. Now Shinji's talking us into cleaning the Kyoto Club.
ちょっと先輩、それって先輩が藤村先生に言われてたことじゃなかった？そうですよ。ちゃんとやっておかないと明日怒られますよ。
でもさ、今から片付けしてたら店閉まるじゃん。そこの人がやってくれるんならそれでいいんじゃないの？
Really kind of roundabout
悪
offer.
いよ。
Kind of. I guess it could be construed as an offer. Yes, that is true, Dawson. He does indeed, and this is why we all hate Shinji.
そうでもないんじゃない？あの人元弓道部員だってシンジが言ってるしさ。任せちゃえばいいのよ。
The girls behind Shinji are awfully chatty. They seem to be Kyoto members, but since I don't recognize any of them, they must be the members Shinji recruited recently.
じゃあ、あとはよろしく。鍵の場所は変わってないから、勝手にやっといてよ。文句ないよね、エミヤ。
No, I don't mind. I've got some time on my hands, so it's no problem.
サンキュー。それじゃあ行こうぜみんな。つまんない雑用はあいつがやっといてくれるってさ。
あ、待ってよ先輩。じゃああとはよろしくお願いしますね先輩。
I clean the Kyoto dojo without any problem since I'm familiar with it. Shinji is he's not quite the worst, alright? The absolute worst is actually Zokenmato. That dude is like the epitome of shit stain. It's a big room, so it took a while, but it was kind of fun cleaning the place I used to spend so much time in until a year and a half ago. Midway through, I considered trying to shoot a bit, but decided not to. It would be rather rude to the owner of the bow. If I wanted to shoot, all I have to do is bring my own bow and visit. I look at the time. It's way past curfew. It's a little after 7. The gates must be closed by now, so there's no need for me to rush. Now that I look closely, I don't remember the dojo being so dirty before. There's dirt and grime all over the place. Like behind the bow rest and the club room. Shinji is a terrible person for forcing her. Yeah, absolutely, I totally agree. Well, I guess another hour or two wouldn't make much of a difference at this point. I've already started, so I might as well clean every nook and cranny. The wind is starting to pick up. It's so cold my cheeks start to sting. Fuyuki's typically isn't cold at night during winter, but tonight's certainly an exception. My breath fogs the air with every exhale. No wonder, it's darker than usual. The moon's hidden tonight. I look up and there's no light in the sky. The strong wind sends the clouds speeding across the night sky. Curfew is long past, and there's no sign of life at the empty school. Not so much as a sound can be heard on campus, and it seems to be covered with a colder air than any other place in town. I think I heard something. I do hear something. It's coming from the schoolyard. That night, under the frosty sky, I guess I just got curious about the sound that broke the hushed silence. So I headed toward the sound to investigate. I go to the schoolyard. Is that people? It looks that way, at least from a distance. It's just so damn dark. I need to get closer if I want to find out more. The sounds grow louder, more intense. I know that sound. It's clashing metal. It sounds like a fight. This is stupid. What the hell am I thinking? I'm being stupid, obviously. Who would ever fight in a school courtyard with weapons like that? Oh, I'm one of your top VTubers? Thank you so much, Dawson. That's very kind. And then, it was probably a gut instinct that sensed the danger, or maybe keeping out of sight as I approached was just a stroke of luck. Whatever the reason, I hid behind a big tree, enough to conceal me, and took a closer look at the source of the sound. There, my mind froze. What? I can't comprehend what I'm seeing. A man in red and a man in blue? The two of them are clad in armor so ancient, several steps beyond old-fashioned. It's ridiculous sight, but their rapid, deadly movements make it clear that their fight is no joke. I don't understand. I can't even follow their movements, they're so fast. Their movements look so surreal, my mind can't function properly. The sound of their clashing weapons is the only thing convincing me the two of them are actually fighting to the death. But there's one thing I'm sure about. They're not human. They have to be something else. In the guise of humans. My magecraft training isn't why I know this. Anyone could see that these two aren't human. To start, humans can't move like that. Nobody should get involved with whatever that is. I can feel their intent to kill, even from a distance. I'm going to die. My body instinctively knows before my brain kicks in that I just won't live if I stay here. My racing heart is proof of that. I sense they're living things designed only to kill. No knife or blade would be a match for whatever they're wielding. They're clearly meant only to kill. I suddenly remembered yesterday's murders. The family that fell victim is said to have been killed by a bladed weapon. Damn, I shouldn't stay and watch another second. But I can't move a muscle. I can hardly breathe. My mind is telling me to flee, but something else tells me that they'll find me the second I move. More than any internal conflict, though, I'm just paralyzed. I'm more than 40 meters away from them, but still imagine getting stabbed in the back with that spear. I can't breathe. The sounds stop. The two figures separate and stand facing each other. Just as I'm starting to feel the sense of relief that the fight's over, another stronger sense of malice creeps over me. Wow, my heart feels like it shriveled up in my chest. The numbness in my body turns to convulsion as I clench my teeth in an effort to compose myself. Unbelievable! Who the hell is that guy? A nauseatingly high amount of magical energy flows into the man in blue. Kiritsugu once demonstrated to me how to draw magical energy from one's surroundings. It was a kind of magecraft, so beautiful that it impressed even an apprentice like me. I hope to get 100k subscribers one day too, Dawson. That would be super awesome. But we'll get there. We will end up with a super massive army of yokai one day. It will happen. But this is different. The same way even simple act of drinking water can look revolting if done excessively, the man in blue appears to be binge eating. The sight so extreme that anyone with magical energy would find it repulsive. He's going to die. The man in red is dead meat. The attack will be infused with more magical energy than anyone could possibly defend against. Daikun's your number one VTuber? Or YouTuber? Yeah, he's my number one YouTuber too. He's going to die. That inhuman something in the guise of a man is going to die. But can I just let this happen? That question shakes me out of my paralysis. My body is suddenly free, and I take a deep breath. The man in blue glares in my direction. You already are, aren't you? As far as I know, you've already subscribed, so you are one of the very first yokai. The man in blue glares in my direction. The man in blue crouches in a way that tells me one thing. I'm his new target. My legs are moving before I even have the thought of running. The rest of my body finally realizes it's time to flee for my life, and suddenly all my energy is being poured into doing exactly that. I can't say I don't appreciate the sentiment though, Dawson. But like I said, you are one of the first yokai. I think I'm up to, I believe, 58 subscribers now, which is, hey, pretty good for only being around for 8 months. I don't remember where I ran through or how I got there, but I'm in the school building. Real genius here. I regret my own actions as I huff and puff. I should have run toward town. I've got to be the world's biggest idiot thinking I can escape by running into an empty building. A school of all places. There must have been other, better places to hide. And what the hell convinced me I'd die if I didn't run into a building, run to begin with? My chest burns from all the running. Awesome, thank you, Dawson. That would be really helpful. Let everyone that you know about the channel. I could use all the help I could get. We must build the yokai army. I turn around, but I don't see anything pursuing me. The only sound is my own footsteps. I can finally stop. My feet can barely move another step. I gulp down lungfuls of air, trying to slow my heart down, and I breathe a sigh of relief. I survived. What the hell was that? I try to recall what I just saw as I catch my breath. One thing's for sure, I definitely wasn't meant to see that. Things that look human fighting in a schoolyard at night. That's all I can really remember. But I don't see anything else out of the corner of my eye. I think there's also someone else. I can't remember what they looked like, though. Honestly, I couldn't afford to look at anything other than the two figures locked in combat. But finally, uh-oh, he found us! The voice comes from right in front of me. I can't breathe. My mind goes blank. I can't think. In your top 3 female YouTubers, number 1, Numi, number 2, Shut-in Yokai, and number 3, Scarlet? Scarlet? Nice. I'm glad I'm in your top 3, Dawson. That makes me really happy. But I know I'm going to die.
逃げられないってのはお前自身が誰よりも分かってたんだろう。何？やられる側ってのは得てしてそういうもんだ。別に恥じることじゃない。
And with that, we're incredibly screwed, right, Meow? Yup, yup. He raises his spear.
運が悪かったな、坊主。見られたからには死んでくれよ。
Honest, I didn't see shit. I promise. No mercy, no compassion. His spear pierces my heart. I don't even have time to dodge. No training I ever did prepared me for this. I knew I was going to die. I knew the spear was going to impale me, but I couldn't move. The world distorts around me. My body grows cold. Numbness escapes from my fingertips to the rest of me. I cough up blood once. Like I said, I really appreciate it. All the help all the subscribers you can send my way, the better. I won't turn them away. I love getting more yokai. I felt like there should have been more, but it was just one cough. That spear must have been special. My blood slows and grows stagnant. My heart just stops, all from a single strike of that spear. I can't see anything. I don't feel anything. I'm like a jellyfish floating in the dark sea at night. I stopped feeling pain long ago. The world has turned white. I'm the lone dark spot. You're thinking of giving Nikkei one last chance? Well, I mean, you might as well, right? If you were enjoying the game before, a little bit of censorship, as much as it sucks, shouldn't take all of your enjoyment away. You can't let them do that, or they outright win, Dawson. I mean, you can't let the stupid people doing censorship win. And if you stop playing because of a little censorship, then they totally win. So rather than being aware that I died, it just feels like everything around me has ceased to exist. I know this. I experienced the same thing 10 years ago. This is what dying feels like.
死人に口なしってな。弱いやつがくたばるのは当然といえば当然だが。
My eyes can't focus.
まったく嫌な仕事をさせてくれる。このざまで英雄とは笑い草だ。
I can only hear his voice.
分かっている。文句はないぞ。女のサーバントは見たんだ。おとなしく戻ってやれ。
He sounds so irritated. Afterwards, I hear footsteps fading down the hallway.
アーチャーか。蹴りをつけておきたいところだが、マスターの方針を破るわけにもいくまい。まったく、いけすかねえマスターだこと。
The voice suddenly disappears. He must have jumped out the window. Afterwards, the footsteps I heard earlier stop. Oh, they got a new collab? That's cool. I mean, if it's a good time to restart, then, like I said, give her. There's an awkward silence. Then, footsteps again. I can't hear that well anymore.
追ってアーチャー。ランサーはマスターのところに戻るはず。せめて相手の顔ぐらい把握しないと。
I don't know who's talking. I muster up all my concentration as my mind fades, but still, I can't put my finger on it. All I can hear now is the sound of my breathing. My lungs must still be functioning. I hear a loud, whistling sound coming from my mouth, like a passing typhoon.
その割にはまだ死んでないってのはすごいな。
I can't fault you for that. I have a deep hatred for censorship too, Dawson. I really do. I even dislike what they did to this particular remaster. They toned down some of the dialogue, and I'm not real happy about it, but that's not going to stop me from playing it. I sense somebody peering into my face. My breathing must be loud as the person reaches their finger out to try to close my mouth.
やめてよね。なんだってあんたが。
Whoever it is, they grit their teeth, seemingly troubled. The moment I hear that sound, the person touches me without hesitation. But when you play it, well, what's wrong with being free to play? I mean, as long as you can still complete story and whatnot while being free to play, then there's no reason you shouldn't do that.
破損した臓器を偽装して代用。その間に心臓一つ丸々修復か。こんなの。
Nah, you don't want to go to the clock tower,
一発
Rin.
合格ってレベルじゃない。
That'd be a waste of your talents. The voice sounds distressed. But at that moment, my fading consciousness finally flickers to nothing. Sensation returns to my body. Slowly, little by little, my body functions return, like dewdrops trickling down a leaf. Drip, drip. What's going on? The person hovering over me is sweating, intensely focusing on what their hands are pressed against, on where their hands are pressed against my chest. The next thing I know, the palm over my chest grows extremely hot. It's so hot my corpse jolts and my cold, stagnant blood starts to flow again. Yeah, make them earn every cent they get from you, Dawson. That's the way to go. If you don't like their censorship, make them earn every cent they get from you. I have to admit, when it comes to FGO, I'm as free to play as possible. I will admit to having wailed slightly for a couple of servants, but, you know, I'm willing to make certain sacrifices. Phew. I sense the person take a deep breath and sit down.
疲れた。
I hear something fall.
まあ仕方ないか。ごめんなさい、父さん。あなたの娘はとんでもなく薄情者です。
That was it. The person mocks themselves and leaves. Well, I mean, I said I'd try to stay as free to play as possible. Just because I wailed for Morgan was like, that's neither here nor there. Half-assed did it again for Arcoade. Again, neither here nor there. For the most part, I only use the quartz that I gain naturally. So, I mean, I'm doing, if one were to take a look at my support list, I'm doing pretty well for being 99% free to play. Do I have to answer that? Oh boy. I'm probably going to feel real bad after this, but I probably spent, like I said, I wailed for, so I probably spent about $300 on Morgan. But like I said, I have NP5 now, so yeah, it still hurts to think about. My heart resumes beating, and then I finally pass out. But it's not the everlasting sleep I expected. I fall into a slumber bound to wake again. Only $100 for you? I'm proud of you for holding back and not spending more than you should have, like some of us are guilty of. $300 was like a ridiculous amount to spend on getting NP5 Morgan. I wake suddenly. I feel sick and my entire body aches. Every time my heart beats, a sharp pain stabs my head. What happened? My intense headache prevents me from remembering anything. My body is cold and stiff, likely because I've been sleeping in a hallway for a long time. The only thing I can figure out is that my chest area of my uniform is torn, and my blood stains the hall floor. We should probably clean that up before we leave. Nah, we'll leave it. That's a janitor problem at this point. My head feels hazy as I get up. The spot where I'd been laying looks like a murder scene. Damn, seriously? Was my chest stabbed? I fight down a surge of nausea as I head into a nearby classroom. Staggering to open a closet, I pull out a rag and bucket. Really, we're gonna clean up our own blood before we stagger out of here. Oh man. What the hell am I doing? Yeah, I agree, Shiro. What the hell are you doing? I'm still confused. Yeah, you'd have to be. I encountered something unbelievable, then it murdered me. But here I am, still trying to clean up after myself. How stupid can I be? Damn, it's not coming out. I wiped the floor with the rag I found. I managed to wipe off the blood despite the incredible weakness in my whole body. Then gather up everything scattered around the floor and shove it in my pockets. This may be my way of hiding any evidence. I must be doing such stupid stuff because my head's all hazy. I put the rag and bucket away and stagger out of the school like a zombie. My body heats up with every step I take. It's cold outside, yet my body seems to be on fire. Well, I mean, you only spend on a game what you feel comfortable spending. If that's nothing, great. If you feel comfortable in getting away with a couple $100, give her. But never spend more on a game than you like. Don't spend so much that you end up like leaving yourself short for bills and stuff. Never ever do that to yourself. It's not a game's not worth leaving yourself short for food or bills. By the time I reach my house, the date has changed. There's nobody in the house. Sakura and Fujine left long ago. I collapse on the floor. Lying on the floor is what lets me finally calm down a bit. Yeah, I do my best to grind for enough resources to roll for free too, but when it's a servant like Morgan that I really have wanted for, well, since they came out on JP, I save up a little bit extra on the side so that if I need to or want to, I can actually throw a little bit of money at it. I inhale deeply. My heart feels like it cracks every time my chest expands to draw in air. Actually, it's the opposite. It's not that my heart is cracking. The hole in my heart was just patched up, so expanding my chest opens the wound. So I really was almost killed. Or like Ciel or Aoko. Mostly Aoko. I threw a little bit of quartz at Ciel, but since I didn't get her, you know, it's not that big a deal to me, but I do definitely want Aoko. That's also not true. I wasn't almost killed. I was killed. But someone saved me, and now I'm alive. I wonder who it was. I would really like to thank them. If they were in the area, it means they could be involved with the people fighting. But still doesn't change the fact that they saved me, so I need to thank them properly one day. The moment I drop my guard, the pain returns. At the same time, nausea strikes me. I sit up to hold the nausea at bay. I place my hand on my bare chest where my uniform is torn. I might have been saved, but my chest was, a matter of fact, pierced. Yeah, I was when she came out on NA. I threw a little bit of Saint Quartz at her. I didn't have a whole lot of extra quartz to use, so I think I only got to throw like 2 or 3 multis at her, or for her. But I mean, that whole counterattack gimmick that she has going on, I have to admit that was kind of cool. That would be a useful thing. But like I said, I only had a limited amount of quartz and I didn't get her, so. That feeling, the agony of the spear tip piercing my chest, isn't something I can easily forget. I don't really call the incredibly crappy pity that FGO has even you can't even really call it pity. Because, I mean, if they lowered the amount of pulls that you need to hit pity, even by 100 pulls, that would be all right. And let the pity carry over to the next banner, for crying out loud. Damn, I'm going to have nightmares about this for a while. When I close my eyes, I feel the spear thrust again. I try to shake the delusion off and make every effort to regain my composure. Good, I'm calming down. This must be thanks to my nightly training. My thoughts clear as I take slow, deep breaths. The fever and nausea abate a bit. So about what happened. The man in blue and the man in red. They looked human, but I know they're not. They could have been ghosts of some kind. But I have never heard of ghosts having forms that allow them to interact with humans like that. And the thing was talking, which makes it a little harder to believe that it was a ghost. If it had a will of its own. From what I've heard, the only spirits that possess physical bodies are the elemental types. But I thought elementals don't look human. Don't tell that to Arkawade, okay? Shiro, please do not tell Arkawade that she shouldn't look human. She might beat you up for that. Well, that's not the issue here. There's a more fundamental issue. The two were trying to kill each other. And there was a robbery and a murder at a house nearby. Eerie stuff like that has been plaguing Fuyuki lately. With all of this in mind, the only conclusion I can come to is that the situation is out of my control. Yeah, in your fave gacha, it's 100 pulls and it's a 6-star for free? Nice. If only. If only the old man was alive right now. I guess that was kind of witty, but I'll put it down to the patched up my chest wound that still feels so raw. Idiot, I've already decided to do whatever I can, even if I don't understand what's going on. I can complain later. First of all, I need to decide whether I should get involved or not. Well, this is a problem. The bell on the roof of the house rings. No matter what anyone says, this house is still a mage's house. A bounded field is set around it, and if there's ever an intruder in the area, an alarm rings. A burglar at this hour? I bait my breath for my own idiocy. Of course it's not a burglar. Given the timing right after that weird incident, there's definitely an intruder. It's not a burglar, it's an assassin. They're here to take my life, not property. They're trying to censor manga for English users? Oh, for crying out loud. Why? Why must they do this to us? Like, leave our manga alone. All we want is as direct a translation from Japanese to English as possible. Other than that, leave it alone. Let us enjoy it the way it was meant to be. Like, come on. It's not that hard a concept to figure out. Really, it's not. Even a kitty like me can figure it out. Because that man said so himself. You saw what you saw, so you gotta die. The house is dead silent. Yes, the evil company trying to get their hands on absolutely everything, and we can't let them. We must fight back. The house is dead silent. That same murderous intent I felt at the school creeps closer through the hushed darkness. I gulp. A chill prickles like needles along my spine. It's no illusion, and it's not my imagination. I know that the moment I leave this room, I'll be stabbed again. No. I desperately try to contain my scream. The instant I scream, the assassin will leap right in and kill me. And that would be a repeat of what happened before. I'm not prepared. I'm not going to get impaled again. My breathing grows labored as soon as the thought crosses my mind. I'm mad. I'm mad at myself for being afraid. I'm mad that I've put myself in a situation or I'll so easily lose my life after I was saved earlier this same damn day. It is sad what Disney has done to some animes. In fact, I'm pretty sure they do want some of them to fail. I can't imagine why, but judging by what Disney's doing, they have to want projects to fail in order to do specifically what they're doing. It's nuts. I don't understand it. I grit my teeth and hold my hand tight over my wounded chest to restrain myself. I need to get used to this. This is the second time. This is the second time I'm about to die. That alone motivates me not to die so pathetically as last time. Am I not a mage, after all? And if I can't even defend myself from this, what were my 8 years of training for? It is entirely possible they envy Japan, and that's why they're, making trying to sabotage their own projects. But still, it makes no sense to sabotage your own project, because then you don't make money on it. And I, for one, thought Disney was in the habit of making money. I mean, I could be wrong. Fine, bring it on. I'm not going to agonize over complicated things anymore. Right now, I just need to drive away whoever's here. I need to find a weapon. I may call myself a mage, but the only thing I can do is reinforce something. That might work as a weapon. You need a weapon to fight, after all. There's plenty of things that might work as a weapon in the storehouse, but I'm not anywhere near there. If I leave the living room and get ambushed, I'm just going to expose myself, and it'll be a repeat of what happened earlier. It won't be easy, but I've got to find a weapon here. Something long and thin would be good. My opponent's weapon of choice is a spear, so a knife would be all but useless. A wooden sword would be the best, but I obviously don't have one just laying around. Something around here that might be suitable as a weapon. Whoa, there's the only poster Fujine left. I can't help but feel utterly dejected. But the desperation makes me all the more determined. The situation's so bad, it can't really get any worse. Oh, there you done did it, Shiro. Never, ever say it can't get worse. It always gets worse after that. Then all that's left for me to do is move forward until I have no energy left. Really? They're taking manga out of schools because manga is satanic? That's insane. I mean, there might be a few specific mangas that are actually tailored to that genre, but 99% of manga is not satanic. Anyone with more than one brain cell can figure that out. All they have to do is, read the first little bit of any manga to figure out it's not satanic. It is very dumb. I wholeheartedly agree, Dawson. Trace on. I speak my incantation and inject magical energy to the rolled up 60-centimeter poster. I try to imbue as much magical energy as possible as I possibly can into the poster to solidify it, since it needs to work as a weapon to go up against a spear. Composition, analyze. I focus my consciousness. Magical energy permeates the poster as if I'm staining its fibers with my own blood. Composition, reinforce. I feel that I've hit the end. Right before the magical energy spreads throughout the poster, it spills out. I say, trace off. I cut off my concentration with the connection with the poster and tremble with excitement. Oh, that would be terrible if they start censoring our anime figures. I mean, I wouldn't put it past them, Dawson, but that would be absolutely terrible. The poster is hard as steel, but its weight remains the same as before. It's turned out great for a hastily improvised sword. I did it! How long has it been since my strengthening magecraft succeeded? My magecraft hasn't worked ever since Kiritsugu died, and so for it to work at a time like this seems ironic. Either way, now I may be able to defend myself. I at least have some discipline in swordsmanship. I grip the poster with both hands and stand in the middle of the living room. If I stay here, I'm dead, but I don't think I can make it outside the mansion either. So I just need to head to the shed and make a stronger weapon there. Phew. Just as I started trying to hype myself up, every hair on my body stands on end. I'm not sure when he got in, but the guy drops from the ceiling straight toward me. What? Oh! A silvery flash strikes my head from above. I can only assume he came through the ceiling and he descends on me, meaning to skewer my head. Why, you! I roll forward in a frantic dodge. First they ruin Western movies and TV shows, and then video games, and now they go after anime. Like, we can't have any, like they can't let us have any fun? I know, right? Like, who in that corporate office really has the right to tell me what kind of manga I should like, right? I think that's up to me to decide. I mean, and that goes for games and movies and TV shows. It's up to me to decide if it's inappropriate for me or my kids. Just like it's up to you to decide if it's inappropriate for you specifically. I mean, why can't we just leave it at that? The man lands with inhuman grace as I clumsily roll out of the way. I stop myself quickly and get to my feet, makeshift sword at the ready. The guy turns lazily, looking bored.
余計な手間を。見えていればいたかろうと、俺なりの配慮だったのだがな。
He shifts his spear to the other hand in a slow, fluid movement. I don't know why, but he doesn't seem as aggressive as he did at the school, which might give me a chance at escaping him.
まったく一日に同じ人間を二度殺す羽目になるとはな。いつになろうと人の世は血生臭いということか。
It must be a new experience for this guy, having to kill somebody twice. He's complaining to himself, like I'm not even here. I slowly retreat back out of the room. Only 3 meters until I reach the window. I'll run out, then it's only 2 meters to the shed once I reach the yard. Then I should quickly...
じゃあな、今度こそ迷うなよ、坊主。
He says it almost absent-mindedly, like it was just an afterthought. Gah! Pain shoots up my right arm. It all happens in an instant. He thrusts his spear forward, not even giving me time to react. I should have died for a second time, right there. The makeshift sword in my hand spared me that fate. He probably thought I'd just been holding a rolled up paper. He struck as if he hadn't been holding anything at all, but the reinforced paper sword deflected the attack so it only grazed my arm.
ほう、変わった芸風だな、おい。
His expression goes blank. His casual attitude from earlier vanishes. He watches me now like a feral animal, eyeing its prey. Ah, crap. I was clearly wrong, thinking things would be okay. This thing before me is some kind of demon unbound by logic. I keenly realized that letting my guard down even for a second was beyond ludicrous. That's right. Desperate as things are, I should have made a break for the window right after whatever miracle let me dodge his strike from above.
ただの坊主かと思ったが、なるほど。微弱だが魔力を感じる。心臓をうがたれて生きているってのはそういうことか。
The end of his spear points towards me. I can't block that. There's no way I'll be able to block that swift attack. I could have at least braced myself if I had a sword, no matter how fast he might be with it. But he's holding a spear. A sword is a whole line, but a spear is only a point. Larry from the company Black Rock, they love censorship like Disney. Aw, that's just mean. They need to get off of that censorship thing. Nobody likes it, to be honest. Only a very few people like censorship, and they scream damn loud, unfortunately. Well, he needs to spend his obscene amounts of money on something other than screwing with our manga. How am I supposed to block a point when I can't even sense how fast it moves?
いいぜ。少しは楽しめそうじゃないか。
No, you're not allowed to have fun at our expense. No! The man drops into a lower stance. In a flash, The spear swings in sideways. I instinctively parry the blow aimed at my face. Ah!
いい子だ。ほら次行くぞ。
It's a cyclone. I'm not sure how he's moving his spear in this small room, but it traces a beautiful arc without even touching the walls. Ah! The next swing comes from the opposite side, aiming at my torso. Ah! The force of the swing bends my makeshift sword as I try to parry. Monstrous. Is that a hammer he's swinging? Damn, the numbness in my arms is telling me that they might be broken. Girl, why you? I instinctively swing my sword. He must be mocking me with the way he keeps flickering his spear at my face without drawing it back at all. Numbness creeps into my arms after going on the attack. My makeshift sword bends even more, and the man's spear changes trajectory slightly.
使えねえな。機械をくれてやったのに無駄な真似しやがって。まあ魔術師に切り合いを望んでも仕方ねえんだろうが。
He moves like this is just a game. Such confidence. He's been letting me take a swing at him after he took a couple of shots at me. I wasted my opportunity as nothing more than a stopgap. So he sees no point in continuing this.
拍子抜けだ。やはりすぐに死ねよ、坊主。
The man readies his spear again. Don't jump to conclusions. During that microscopic opening. See what you want, dumbass. I don't turn back to look. I just leap backward through the window. My back shatters the window and I roll out onto the yard. I roll a few times, springing upward and... Ha-ha! I blindly make my next move. I twist my entire body and swing behind myself. I manage to bat the man's spear aside, and he hesitates for just an instant. I knew it. If I jumped out the window, he was going to have to chase after me, and he would catch up to me and go in for the kill before I had a chance to get up. So as I expected his fatal blow and swung my sword to the side with all my might. It was a risky move. He'd have killed me if it had been even a second late. And I'd have been just as dead if I was early too. But knowing the incredible gap in our skill, I figured there was no way I could have been early. The only thing I had to do was get up as quickly as I could and parry the attack I knew would be coming at my back. The gamble pays off, and my swing deflects his spear. Aha! I quickly reposition myself. Now I just need to run to the shed while he's still confused.
飛べ。
Huh? He's not holding the spear anymore, and he's right in front of me. He turns on the spot in a roundhouse kick. Oh, damn! That would hurt so bad! Scenery goes flying by. My chest goes numb where he kicked me. I can't breathe. The biggest surprise, I'm actually flying through the air. I never thought a guy kicking me would send me into the air like a damn ball. Ah! I fall hard onto my back. I slam into a wall, the impact likely breaking my back, and slide down onto the ground. Ah! I can't breathe. My vision blurs. By a stroke of luck, he's thrown me into the shed I wanted to reach. I lean against the wall, trying to rouse myself. I try to track the man through blurry eyes. He kicked me nearly 20 meters away. Well, unfortunately, Dawson, most really wealthy people only see more money. They don't really see anything else. It's unfortunate, but it's kind of true. The guy picks up his spear and rushes straight at me. I'm going to die. There's nothing I can do now. He's going to reach me. If I don't want to die, I need to get up and parry his hit. The tip of his spear surges. I can't even look back at him. My body on the verge of collapse practically greets the spear. What dumb luck. My knees giving out, I can't hold myself up. The spear goes over my head and violently impales the shed's heavy door, pushing it open. And this is my last chance. If only I could get inside the shed. There should be something I can use as a weapon. Alright, Dawson. Well, hopefully you can make it back before I end the stream. My stream will probably be another half hour to an hour at most. But I get it that you gotta go. Bye-bye. If only I could get inside the shed, there should be something I can use as a weapon. I crawl into the shed on all fours. Just then, uh-oh, we're pissing it Lancer off. He launches the spear at me. Damn you! I block it. I open up the rolled poster to create a single-use shield. The impact makes a dull sound. The poster, unrolled, probably isn't as strong. It blocks the spear, but it tears apart, returning to a normal bit of paper. The spear's impact flings me against the wall. I fall on my butt and try to get my heart beating again after it feels like it's trying to quit on me. The moment I raise my head to grab something to use as a weapon,
爪だ。今のは割と驚かされたぜ、坊主。
we're getting some high praise from this guy. I mean, we're holding him off, more or less, with a piece of paper. Crazy. The man points his spear in front of my face. I can't do anything else now. His spear is pointed directly at my heart. I know this feeling. This is the scent of death assailing my nostrils, reminding me of the pain I felt a few hours ago.
しかし、わからねえな。起点は効くくせに魔術はからっきしときた。筋はいいようだが、 まだ若すぎたか。
I don't hear the man's voice. My attention is focused on the weapon pointed at me. Obviously, the moment he thrusts, I'm dead. What else is there to think about at this point?
もしやとは思うが、お前が7人目だったのかもな。ま、だとしてもこれで終わりなんだが。
His arm jerks. I wasn't able to see his movement earlier, but now I see every last one in slow motion. There's a bolt of silvery light. The tip seems like it's being drawn towards my heart. Blood will gush from the wound in just a second. I know this feeling. That's the sensation of iron piercing my body. The taste of blood that will well up in my throat. The feeling of the world around me fading. I experienced all of it earlier today. And now I'm going to have to experience it again. Really? I don't understand. Why do I have to be the one who goes through this? This is bullshit. No, I can't die in vain in a place like this. I was saved. If I was saved, I can't just die like this. I need to live, to fulfill my obligations. I won't be able to do that if I'm dead. The spear is still going to impale me, though. The tip will tear through my flesh, break my ribs, and bore into my heart. I'm mad. It shouldn't be so damn easy to kill people like this. I'm going to die, and it's bullshit. I'm going to die twice in a single goddamn day. Everything is fucking bullshit. I'm going to die, and I don't even have an opportunity to be afraid of this whole goddamn mess. No way in hell I'm not going to let myself die senselessly to the likes of you. Huh? A is absolutely the right word for this moment.
何？
What? Like magic. A figure appeared out of a bright light shining from behind me. I can't think. All I know is that the figure is a girl. I hear a high-pitched sound. At the moment the figure appears, it pushes aside the spear pressed to my heart and steps between me and the man without missing a beat.
7人目のサーバントだと。
He tries to regain his composure after his spear is pushed aside as the girl brandishes something in her hand. Sparks fly. Hard metal clashes and sparks fly again. The man stomps his foot after blocking the woman's attack. He must have realized he's at a disadvantage because he leaps out of the storehouse with bestial agility. She must have intimidated him, but she quite quietly turns to me. The wind is strong today. The clouds slide away and the moon shines through for a brief instant. The silvery moonlight shines into the shed, illuminating the girl who appears like a knight. I'm speechless. And it's not because I'm confused by all the things that just happened. The girl before me is so astonishingly beautiful that I'm at a loss for words. The girl's eyes, like precious jewels, stare at me without emotion.
とう、あなたが私のマスターか。
Her voice sounds so valiant. Eh? Master? I can only repeat her words back to her. I don't understand what she's saying, nor do I know who she is. All I know is that this slender, delicate-looking girl is similar to the man outside. She says nothing, continuing to look at me in silence. I don't know how to describe her. She's special, so special that I forget entirely about the man outside, even though he might attack at any moment. Time seems to have stopped. Even the fear of death I'd felt moments ago vanishes, and there is only the girl standing before me.
サーバントセーバー、召喚に従い参上した。マスター、指示を。
It's the second time she speaks. And the moment I hear the word master and the name Saber echoes in my ears. Pain shoots through my left hand. It's hot like being branded by an iron. I unconsciously press the back of my left hand. Taking that as a sign, the girl silently nods her beautiful head.
これより我が剣はあなたと共にあり、あなたの運命は私と共にある。ここに契約は完了した。
What? Contract? For what? I'm still a mage in training, so I understand what those words mean. But the girl doesn't respond to my questions. She simply looks away with the same grace she showed when she nodded. She turns toward the shed's ruined door. Outside, the man readies his spear. She moves faster than expected. The girl in knight's armor leaps out of the shed without hesitation. What? I forgot about the pain I feel, and I get up to follow her. She can't possibly go up against that guy. No matter how heavily armored she is, she's smaller than I am. Stop! The echoing clang drowns out my words. What? I can't believe what I'm seeing. My head really does go blank this time. Who the hell is she? The clash of swords echoes around me. The moon slips behind the clouds and the yard grows dark once again. And within the darkness sparks fly as steel strikes steel. Without saying a word, the spear-wielding man meets the girl who leaped from the shed. She parries his spear and knocks away his other successive attacks, driving him back with each attack. I can't believe it. This girl, Saber, is somehow overpowering the man. battle has begun. What happened between the man and I earlier doesn't even count as a battle. A battle, this is a fight between two people, each able to kill the other. No matter the difference in ability, it can still be called a battle as long as both are able to kill the other. In that sense, these two are fighting a battle. The man attacks her, swinging his spear so quickly I can't even see his strikes. Somehow, she parries his every attack perfectly, with something as she closes in on him. Damn! The man backs up slightly, clicking his tongue hatefully. He holds his spear vertically to ward off her attack on his side. For a moment, his spear glows. His attack almost looks like it caused an explosion. The man's spear sparks as if electrified every time whatever weapon the girl is wielding strikes it. The man and I both could tell what it is. Its furious magical energy so dense it can actually be seen. Her attacks are charged with incredible amounts of magical energy. The unbelievable amount of magical energy crackles along her opponent's weapon every time they make contact. The sheer force of her attacks must be staggering. If the man's spear strikes are piercing, like a sniper rifle, her blows must be like an overpowering blast of a shotgun. Each of the girl's attacks bathe the yard in flickering light. And yet, that's not what's overpowering the man. The man curses the girl as he evades her unrelenting attacks. She doesn't respond to the man other than to step up her attacks with her invisible weapon. The man retreats, having hardly so much as a chance to counterattack. Her weapon is invisible. Without being able to determine the weapon's range, it'd be reckless to go in for an attack. That's the trouble with an invisible weapon. But she's definitely got something in her hand. I can't make out anything of its shape or length. Maybe it's transparent to begin with? No matter how many times sparks fly from it, I never get to look at the weapon's profile. Parrying her strikes must be taking a lot out of the man. His movements aren't as sharp as they had been. It's the first sound the girl makes. She attacks all the more furiously. She is merciless, unyielding dance of blades. The flying sparks remind me of a blacksmith striking iron. And the spear-wielding man continues defending himself as he disapprovingly clicks his tongue. Honestly, I can't help but to admire the man, even though he tried to kill me. He's able to defend himself from an invisible weapon, relying on only reading the girl's swings and footwork. But that's all he can do. When an opponent is so completely on defense, the only thing you can do is beat them down. The girl steps in closer. She smashes down, striking with all her might.
調子に乗るなたわけ
Seeing his chance, the man disappears. Or rather, he retreats back as if to disappear. The girl's swing cuts through the air and smashes into the ground, kicking up dust. Her massive swing, which seemed to be a fatal blow against the cornered spearman, proved easy to dodge. That fool, what the hell is she thinking? Even I could tell what happened, even at this distance. Her careful, precise attacks earlier may have worn the man down, but a tremendous swing meant to deal the finishing blow wouldn't ever touch him. The relentless attacks must have put an incredible strain on the man's body as he tried to defend himself. Yet he surpassed all the pain for a single moment to jump away. He knew that her last attack would determine the victory. The man jumps back several meters, then comes in to strike once again the moment his feet touch the ground. He jumps in in a triangle pattern and leaps towards the girl as if revisiting his steps. The girl's sword is still embedded in the ground. It's a fatal opening. The red spear returns in less than a second. The girl twists her body around like a top, while her sword is still embedded in the ground. The whole thing happens in a matter of seconds. The man sees his mistake and tries to correct, as the girl uses this brief moment to use her whole body to attack. Both the man and the girl seem unsatisfied, though. Both struck intending to kill. Both survived, so everything leading to this moment was in vain. The two opened a bit of distance between themselves. They both just quietly stared at each other. The strain of the battle inflicted upon them seemed to be too much.
どうしたランサー？止まっていては僧兵の名が泣こう。そちらが来ないのなら私が行くが。
わざわざ死にに来るか。それは構わんが、その前に一つだけ聞かせろ。貴様の宝具、それは剣か？
He phrases his questions so bluntly. He glares as if trying to look through her.
さあどうかな。旋風かもしれぬし、双剣かもしれぬ。いや、もしや弓かもしれんぞ。
抜かせセイバー。
Somehow this conversation seems to be amusing him. The man called Lancer briefly lowers his spear. It looks as if he's saying he doesn't want to fight anymore. The girl seems puzzled by Lancer's move. But I know what his stance means. I remember the fight at the school a few hours ago. It's the killer move that was supposed to have ended the battle.
ついでにもう一つ聞くがな。お互い初見だしよ。ここらで分けって気はないか。悪い話じゃないだろ。そら、あそこでほうけているお前のマスターは使い物にならんし、俺のマスターとて姿を晒せねえ大ふぬけときた。ここはお互い万全の状態になるまで勝負を持ち越した方が好ましいんだが。
断る。あなたはここで倒れろ。 ランサー。
そうかよ。たく、こっちはもともと様子見が目的だったんだぜ。サーバントが出たとあっちゃ長居する気はなかったんだが。
The air wavers. The surroundings appear to distort. Lancer lowers his stance. A chill creeps into the air. The same thing happened earlier. Magic energy rumbles as it forms a vortex at the tip of the spear.
ホーグ。
The girl readies her weapon and glares at her enemy. I didn't need to speak up. She knows very well how dangerous the enemy is. She is the one confronting him.
じゃあな、その心臓をもらい受ける。
The beast kicks the ground. Lancer appears in front of the girl so quickly he may as well have teleported. He takes his spear and aims at her feet. Even to me, that seems a poor choice. I can't see any way to attack that would be effective with a spear pointed at the ground in front of her feet. Apparently thinking the same thing, the girl leaps over the spear toward Lancer, intent on striking him down. But at that moment, his words almost radiate immense magical energy. The spear released from below angles towards the girl's heart. Her body hangs in the air. The blow sends her flying in a wide arc. She smashes heavily onto the ground. She's bleeding. She had been unscathed until now, but her heart is pierced and she is bleeding profusely.
ジュソ。いや、今のは因果の逆転か。
I'm just as bewildered. But watching from afar may have given me a better perspective on how bizarre that attack was. The spear had been aimed at her feet, I'm sure of that. But then it just changed direction, moving and stretching impossibly to pierce the girl's heart. And yet the spear itself neither stretched nor changed direction. It seemed bizarrely as if the spear had been thrust into her chest from the beginning, almost naturally. It wasn't as simple as a spear changing its trajectory and piercing the heart. The spear didn't change course. It altered truth itself to make that happen. The moment he spoke those words and released the spear, the intent of piercing her heart had been realized. Essentially, his attack reversed cause and effect. The result of the attack piercing the victim's heart is predetermined, so the spear's trajectory is merely an afterthought to establish the facts. As a demonic splinter that breaks through all defenses, the moment it determines the target, the spear pierces the heart every time it's used, without exception. How can anyone defend against such a completely insane attack? No matter what effort the target makes to avoid, the spear will always pierce their heart, which makes it fatal. And a cursed spear that always pierces the opponent when used? However, the girl evaded by a hair's breadth. The spear didn't penetrate her, but it did penetrate, but it didn't hit anything vital. Her actions in evading the spear seemed to even more impossible than the spear itself. The moment the spear was thrust, the girl turned and reversed direction with an incredible effort of will and strength, as if she knew what was going to happen. She was either incredibly lucky or had just enough protection to dampen the spear's curse. Whatever it is, the girl managed to avoid the fatal blow and so survived Lancer's ultimate attack. The girl tries to get her labored breathing under control. Although she has been losing a lot of it, the blood stops seeping from her wound, and even the wound itself is closing up. So this is what a truly extraordinary person can do. I knew she wasn't normal, but she is more than outstanding. In terms of her skill in a fight against Lancer, in terms of her incredible amount of magical energy used for every attack, her body recovering on its own, she is obviously superior to Lancer. But that's only up until now. She may be healing even now, but her wounds are deep. If Lancer attacks now, she won't be able to defend herself. And yet, even though he's at an overwhelming advantage, Lancer doesn't move. He audibly grinds his teeth and glares at the girl. His voice seems to rumble up from the ground itself.
ゲイボルク。近江はアイルランドの光の巫女か。
He did in fact say Gaybolg. Yes, this Lancer is indeed Ireland's child of light, Cú Cullen, otherwise known as the Hound of Culane. Lancer's expression darkens. His hostility dissipates, and he clicks his tongue in annoyance.
ドジったぜ。こいつを出すからには必殺でなけりゃやばいってのにな。まったく有名すぎるのも考えものだ。
The oppressive mood lightens. Lancer no longer seems to have any intent on attacking the wounded girl. He turns his back as he walks to the corner of the yard.
己の正体を知られた以上、どちらかが消えるまでやり合うのがサーバントのセオリーだが、あいにくうちの雇い主は臆病者でな。槍が交わされたのなら帰ってこいなんて抜かしやがる。
逃げるのか、ランサー。
Why, yes, he is running away.
ああ、追ってくるのなら構わんぞ、セイバー。ただし、その時は決死の覚悟を抱いてこい。
He lightly bounces off the ground. It's a wonder how agile he can still be, but Lancer jumps effortlessly over the fence and disappears before anyone can stop him.
待て、ランサー。
The injured young girl turns and starts running in pursuit. You've got to be kidding me. I cross the yard as fast as I can. If I don't stop her, she'll go after him and maybe get herself killed. It turns out I don't need to chase after her. She tries to jump over the wall, but the moment she crouches to jump, she doubles over and grabs her chest. I hurry over to check on her. Well, I'd intended to just approach and call out to her, but that went right out the window the moment I got near her. She is completely unbelievable. The shining silver armor she wears looks extremely heavy. The clothing she wears looks dated as it is. A bright, vivid blue. I've never seen anything like it. No, her clothes aren't really what enthralls me. She's obviously beautiful. Her golden hair, illuminated by the moonlight, is extremely fine as spun gold. Her face is graceful with a trace of innocence, and her smooth white skin all but glows in the moonlight. I'm speechless. Her beauty completely takes my breath away. How'd this happen? Seeing a girl wounded in a fight made me absolutely furious. As I stand there gawking, the girl remains silent, her hand clamped over her chest. I manage to quit staring pretty quickly. She lifts her head and lets her hand fall from her chest, her pain seeming to have eased. She looks directly at me. I don't know how quite to respond to that gaze, but then I notice something. Your wounds. Gone. The spear missed her heart, but it did pierce her chest, and yet there's no outward sign of a wound. I've heard there are kinds of healing magecraft, but she didn't seem to use anything like that. That must mean she can heal herself, no matter how wounded she is. My mind switches gears. I shouldn't be gawking at her. This girl is unbelievable, and I absolutely should not let my guard down around her until I know who she is and what's going on. Who the hell are you? I take half a step back as I ask the question.
何者も何もセーバーのサーバントです。あなたが私を呼び出したのですから確認をするまでもないでしょう。
Saber? Servant?
はい。ですから私のことはセーバーと。
She says it so casually. There's a touch of contempt in her tone, but it remains mostly gentle, and hearing her voice makes my head go blank. What? Why the hell am I getting agitated? I see. That's a weird name. I cover my burning face with a hand and respond stupidly, but honestly, I don't know what else to say. Besides, how else would she respond when I ask her what the hell she is? And it'd be rude of me not to respond. I'm Shiro. My name is Shiro Emiya, and I live here. There's something wrong with me. I'm saying the dumbest things. But well, she did give me her name, and it's only polite that I give mine. I know I'm confused, but it's still important to remain rational, no matter who I'm dealing with. The girl, Saber, just keeps watching me in my confusion. She moves not an inch. Forget all that. That's not what I'm asking. It's that...
分かっています。あなたは正規のマスターではないのですね。
Eh?
しかし、それでもあなたは私のマスターです。契約を交わした以上、あなたを裏切りはしない。そのように警戒する必要はありません。
Crap. I hear her, but I couldn't be more lost. The only thing standing out to me is that she keeps referring to me as Master. You got it wrong. My name is not Master.
それでは素人。ええ、私としてはこの発音の方が好ましい。
The moment she says my name, I thought my face might actually burst into flames. Isn't it a bit more normal to call someone by their last name when you first meet? Wait, why would you choose to address me that? Ouch! A strange sensation tingles through my left hand. It's hot. The back of my hand is burning. A strange pattern appears on the back of my left hand like a tattoo. What?
それは霊樹と呼ばれるものです、シロ。私たちサーバントを律する3つの命令権であり、マスターとしての命でもある。むやみな使用は避けるように。
On you?
シロ、傷の治療を。
Her tone is cold now. It seems she's not focused on me, but something else. Wait, are you asking me? Sorry, but I don't know how to use complicated magecraft like that. And you're already healed anyway. Saber frowns. I feel like I've said something that disappoints her.
ではこのままで臨みます。自動修復は顔面を覆っただけですが、あと一度の戦闘ならば支障はないでしょう。
One more battle? What do you mean?
外の敵は2人。この程度の重圧なら数秒で倒しうる相手です。
Saber leaps over the wall effortlessly. Just like Lancers, she makes it look easy. Now I'm just alone in the yard. Enemies outside? I realize what she means as soon as I say it. Wait, are you going to keep fighting? I move without thinking. I run as fast as I can toward the gate. I reach the gate, unlock it with trembling fingers, and jump out. Saber, are you here? I strain to see into the darkness. Clouds have completely obscured the moon, leaving it pitch dark now of all times. But I hear something nearby. There. I run to an empty pathway. It happens all in an instant. I see a familiar man in red and Saber fighting. Saber rushes him and breaks through his guard in a single sweep. He easily cuts the man in red. Saber raises an arm ready to, but before he's able to take his head, incredibly powerful magecraft causes him to vanish. Saber doesn't stop. She dashes right at the person standing behind the man in red and effortlessly negates the potent magecraft they'd unleashed. What? I knew she was strong, but this is just unreal. That was a sort of intervention magecraft way beyond anything I'm capable of. My old man might have been able to cast something with a bit of weight to it, but I'm not sure even a first-rate mage could have cast something so powerful at the drop of a hat like that. Even so, Saber nullifies the magic as if it were nothing. The enemy must have been a mage, which means the match's outcome is decided. The mage's attack doesn't work on Saber, and Saber drives at them mercilessly. The mage falls backwards with a thud. The enemy miraculously dodges Saber's attack, but they can't move anymore. Saber corners the enemy and levels her invisible sword at them. My mind freezes. Maybe it's a momentary glimmer of moonlight, but I see then that Saber is attacking a human. I can't tell who it is specifically, but the image of Saber killing someone, their blood staining her hands, suddenly fills my mind. Saber moves in. She's going to slit open their throat with an invisible sword. Saber, stop! I scream as loud as I can. Her blade comes to a stop. It's probably best for my sanity that I can't see her sword. But the tip of that invisible sword isn't wet with her opponent's blood just yet. Stop, I beg you, Saber. I glare at her as I speak. If I'm going to stop her, I need to prepare myself to give everything I've got to do so.
なぜ止めるのです、シロ。彼女はアーチャーのマスターです。ここで仕留めておかなければ。
No, Saber has absolutely no intention of stopping. She only stopped because I told her to, but she still holds her sword at the ready. I'm telling you, wait. You keep calling me master, but I still don't understand what's going on. If you're going to address me that way, then wouldn't it be right to explain yourself first? Saber doesn't answer. She just stands there staring at me. We're going about this wrong, Saber. I don't even know who you are, but I'll listen if you'll tell me, so please don't do this. Saber is silent. She still holds her sword to her opponent and stares at me, her lips downturned in dissatisfaction.
そんなこととはどのようなことか。あなたはむやみに人を傷つけるな、などという理想論を挙げるのですか。
Don't needlessly harm another? Well, yeah, it's better to avoid conflict as much as possible, but I'm not so soft-hearted as to feel sorry for someone who's attacking me.
つまりあなたは敵であれ命を絶つなと言いたいのでしょう。そのような言葉には従いません。敵は倒すものです。それでもやめろというのであれば、令状を持って私を律しなさい。
I'm talking about you. A girl shouldn't go swinging swords around, especially if she's already hurt. Oh, wait, I don't even know if that's a sword to begin with. Anyway, you shouldn't be doing this. In that moment, Saber's mouth falls open in stunned silence. I don't know how much time passed with her just standing there like that.
で、いつになったら剣を下げてくれるのかしらね、セイバーさんは。
The person who'd fallen to the ground speaks up out of nowhere. Saber instinctively grips her sword.
諦めなさい。敵を前にして下げる剣はありません。
あなたのマスターは下げろって言ってるのに。へえ、セイバーともあろうサーバントが主に逆らうって言うんだ。
Saber grits her teeth. But she lowers her sword, loosening her grip a bit. She must have put her sword away or something because she seems suddenly much less hostile.
さあ、なら立ってもいいのよね、私。
Whoever it was that's been on the ground finally stands. They act brazen as they pat the dirt from their bottom. Wait a minute. That's... You're Tosaka!
ええ。こんばんは、エミヤくん。
Rin Tosaka replies with the biggest smile on her face. This is unbelievable. I don't know what to think anymore. The way she greets me so casually makes me question whether everything that happened was even real. Well, so... You were the one who cast that magecraft earlier, which makes you...
魔術師ってことでしょ。ま、お互い似たようなもんだし、隠す必要もないわよね。
Hearing her be so blunt about it makes me seem like the idiot here.
いいから話は中でしましょう。どうせ何も分かってないんでしょ、エミヤくんは。
As she says that, she walks toward the entrance of my house. Hey, wait, Tosaka, what the hell are you thinking? At that moment, when Tosaka turns around, her smile is changed into something completely different.
バカね、いろいろ考えてるわよ。だから話をしようって言ってるんじゃない。エミヤくん、突然の事態に驚くのもいいけど、素直に認めないと命取りって時もあるのよ。ちなみに今がその時だと分かって。
She glares at me and I can see actual animosity in her eyes.
分かればよろしい。それじゃあ行こっか、エミヤくんのお家にね。
Tosaka walks through the gate. She seems really pissed. Well, I don't blame her. Just a moment ago, she had a sword pointed at her and she was about to die. But still, maybe it's my imagination, but I think Tosaka at school and the one I see right now are completely different people. And this is just weird as hell. Rin Tosaka, the most popular girl in school, the girl I admire, is walking in front of me, while a blonde girl named Saber, who calls herself a servant, is silently following behind me. The hallway feels like a different dimension. But I can't stay a coward forever. I may still be in training, but I am still a mage. Tosaka, who is apparently a fellow mage, is as bold as brass, so I have to hold my ground too, or else I'll look stupid. I'm sorry, Shiro. As far as Tosaka is concerned, you already do look stupid. Though I can't really think of anything all that significant here. Like Saber is still following me. She keeps calling me master, and we formed some sort of a contract, which probably makes her a kind of familiar. I've heard a familiar is an assistant mages use. Most mages transfer part of their own body into something else, then use it as their double. But typically, they're small animals. Things like cats and dogs are just easier to control. Some mages do use humans, but to do that, they need an incredible amount of magical energy to constantly feed into the human to control them. Doing that would require a mage to use over half their own magical energy just to sustain the familiar, though. so it's not exactly efficient. Familiars are supposed to be tools that help mages, which is why they usually use small animals who can be controlled with minimal effort and are often and are so aren't any burden. At least that's what I was taught.
何かあるのですか、シオ。
No, nothing. Saber obviously looks human, and she is clearly superior to her master. That is me. I don't have enough magical energy to restrain someone, let alone the magic circuits to control familiars in the first place. Which means Saber is nothing like a familiar. She called herself a servant. I don't know what she is, but that man named Lancer and the man in red Tosaka has in tow are probably all the same. Which means Tosaka can also be called a master. I've already seen enough of her magecraft skills. I'm less than a fledgling, but based on what I've seen, Tosaka is probably worth 3 mages. Though there's really not much sense in comparing any mage to someone like me, who can only do strengthening. What's clear is that Rin Tosaka is an exceptional mage. In spiritually strong lands, there are mage family lines which oversee a given area. The Emiya family came during Kiritsugu's generation, so our family is essentially outsiders. That's why I didn't know Tosaka came from a family of mages, and I don't think Tosaka knew I came from one either. There are several mages in this town I don't know about. If that Lancer guy is another mage's familiar too, then that means I've gotten myself into the middle of some sort of fighting between mages.
へえ、結構広いのね。和風っていうのも新鮮だな。あ、エミヤくん、そこが今？
I should really just stop thinking for now. Now's time to pay attention to what Tosaka has to say. I turn the lights on. It's already past 1 in the morning.
寒っ。何よ、窓ガラス全開してるじゃない。
That's not my fault. That Lancer guy attacked me. I didn't really have time to worry about windows.
ああ、そういうこと。じゃあ、セイバーを呼び出すまで一人であいつとやり合ってたの？
I'd say I was more of a punching bag than an opponent, really.
ふん、変な見え張らないんだ。そっかそっか。ほんと見た目通りなんだ、エミヤくんって。
I don't know what's so amusing to her, but Tosaka walks over to the broken window. Tosaka picks up a broken piece of glass. She stares at it for a second. She cuts her fingertip and lets a single drop of blood fall onto the window. What kind of magecraft is that? The kind that fixes all your windows. The shattered window begins to reassemble itself and returning to its original undamaged state in mere seconds. Tosaka, what did you just do?
ちょっとしたデモンストレーションよ。助けてもらったお礼にはならないけど、一応筋は通しておかないとね。もう 私がやらなくともそっちで直したんだろうけど、こんなの魔力の無駄遣いでしょ。本当なら窓ガラスなんて取り替えれば済むけど、こんな寒い中で話すのもなんだし。
She says all of this like it's a normal thing. Her skills are just beyond my comprehension. That's amazing, Tosaka. I can't do anything like that, so I appreciate you fixing it.
できないってそんなことないでしょ。ガラスの扱いなんて初歩の初歩だもの。たった数分前に割れたガラスの修復なんてどこの学派でも入門試験みたいなものでしょ。
Yeah, well, Shiro sucks, alright? It's not his fault. Is it now? I only know what my old man taught me, so I don't really know what you consider the basics.
は？
Tosaka stops abruptly. Crap, sounds like I said something I shouldn't have.
ちょっと待って。じゃあ何？エミヤ君は自分の工房の管理もできない半人前ってこと？
Huh? I don't have a workshop. Well, actually, I have a shed I use for training, but I think calling that a workshop would just make Tosaka angrier.
まさかとは思うけど確認しとく。もしかしてあなた5大要素の扱いとかパスの作り方も知らない？
I just nod. Whoa, that's terrifying. Beautiful as she is, she gets intense when she goes quiet.
何？じゃああなた素人？
Yes, we are a complete and utter amateur. Not exactly. No, I can at least do some strengthening magecraft.
強化ってまた何とも半端なのを使うのね。ねえ、それ以外は空っぴしってわけ？
Tosaka just stares at me. Honestly, probably not. Her stare is so intense that I can't help but be vague in my answer.
はあ、なんだってこんなやつにセイバーが呼び出されるのよ。まったく。
She sighs, disappointed. I don't much care for that. It's not like I've been playing around here. Sure, I'm not a full-fledged mage, but that's not the issue here.
まあいいわ。もう決まったことに不平をこぼしても始まらない。そんなことより今は借りを返さないと。
Tosaka takes a breath.
それじゃあ話を始めるけど、エミヤ君、自分がどんな立場にあるのか分かってないでしょ。
I nod, sorta, half-assed.
やっぱり。まあ一目で分かったけど、一応確認しとかないとね。知ってる相手に説明するなんて心の贅肉だし。
That was a really weird way to put that, but I feel like I get smart with her. If I get smart with her, she'll just smack me.
率直に言うと、エミヤ君はマスターに選ばれたの。どちらかの手に精魂があるでしょ。手の甲とか腕とか、個人差はあるけど、3つの霊樹が刻まれているはず。それがマスターとしての証よ。
Back in my hand? Oh, you mean this?
そう。それはサーバントを律する呪文でもあるから大切にね。霊樹って言うんだけど、それがある限りはサーバントを従えていられるわ。
What do you mean as long as I have them?
霊樹は絶対命令権なの。サーバントには自由意志があるって気づいていると思うけど、それをねじ曲げて絶対に言いつけを守らせる呪文がその刻印。発動に呪文は必要なくて、 あなたがレイジを使用するって思えば発動するから。ただし1回使うたびに1つずつ減っていくから、使うのなら2回だけにとどめなさい。でそのレイジがなくなったらエミヤ君は殺されるだろうから、せいぜい注意して。
I'm going to die?
そうよ。マスターが他のマスターを倒すのが聖杯戦争の基本だから。そうして他の6人を倒したマスターには望みを叶える聖杯が与えられるの。
What? Hold on a sec. I don't understand. What the hell Tosaka's saying? Masters defeating masters? And then they're granted the Holy Grail? And is this Holy Grail the Holy Grail?
まだわからない？要するにね、あなたはあるゲームに巻き込まれたのよ。
I don't know if I'd really call it a game per se there, Tosaka.
聖杯戦争っていう7人のマスターの生存競争。他のマスターを一人残らず倒すまで終わらない魔術師同士の殺し合いに。
Tosaka talks about this like it's the most natural thing in the world. Everything she says swirls around in my head. I was chosen as a master. Tosaka claims to be a master. Familiars called servants. And the Holy Grail War, a battle to the death between 7 mages. Okay, wait, what the hell are you talking about?
気持ちはわかるけど、私は事実を口にするだけよ。それにあなただって心の底では理解してるんじゃない？一度ならず二度までもサーバントに殺されかけて、自分はもう逃げられない立場なんだって。
That... true. That Lancer guy did nearly kill me.
あ、違うわね。殺されかけたんじゃなくて殺されたんだっけ。よく生き返ったわね、エミヤ君。
Tosaka's comment is the final nail in the coffin. She's absolutely right. That guy killed me. I died. There was no chance for me to talk him out of it, nor convince him otherwise, and I was only there to die. That's why me backing out of this incomprehensible deathmatch doesn't mean the others will do the same.
納得した？ならもう少しだけ話をしてあげる。聖杯戦争というのが何であるか私もよくは知らない。ただ何十年に一度7人のマスターが選ばれ、マスターにはそれぞれサーバントが与えられるってことだけは確かよ。私もマスターに選ばれた一人だからサーバントと契約したし、あなただってセーバーと契約した。サーバントは聖杯戦争を勝ち残るために聖杯が与えた使い魔と考えなさい。でマスターである私たちは自分のサーバントと協力して他のマスターを始末していくわけね。
Tosaka explains things matter-of-factly, but it feels totally unreal to me. But one of the things she mentioned raises a question. Wait, you say Saber is a familiar, but I don't think she is. Familiars are usually cats or birds, sure. There's some folks who use ghosts, but Saber has a physical body. Plus, she doesn't look like a familiar to me. I glance over at Saber. She's been quiet this whole time. Saber looks completely human to me. I don't know who she is, but she looks to be a girl about the same age as me.
使い魔ね。まあサーバントはその分類ではあるけど位置づけは段違いよ。何しろそこにいる彼女はね、使い魔としては最強とされるゴーストライナーなんだから。
Alright, well, we are going to call the stream here. Thank you to everyone that came out to the stream this evening. I really appreciate it. Just to let everybody know, our next episode of One Piece Odyssey will be coming out this Friday. And be watching for when I post for a continuation of our Fate Stay Night Remastered. Alright, well, thank you for coming, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.